the village of Iran in northern France. It's named after the river which flows through it and once provided the water for its thriving silk industry. During the First World War, 11 British soldiers, 6 of whom were Irish, were sheltered behind enemy lines. 5 were from the Royal Munster Fusiliers, 5 from the Connacht Rangers, 1 was with the King's Hussars, and there was also a French civilian, Vincent Chalandre. 100 years ago, to the day after their execution, they were remembered in the same village that had given them shelter. The memorial, made of Wicklow stone, was organised by Hedley Malloch, a British academic based in Lille, and was first unveiled in 2011. Who were these unfortunate men, and how did they end up being shot in cold blood? Story begins here at Chapeau Rouge, a crossroads outside the town of Étreux in the Ain region of northern France. Here on August the 27th, 1914, the Royal Munster Fusiliers, who were part of the 1st Division of the British Army, fought a successful rearguard action against the German army, but at a terrible cost. They were surrounded and cut off down this road. They finally surrendered in this spot, which was an orchard, but is now a beautiful cemetery where some 127 men killed in the Battle of Étreux are buried. A few escaped, as did the Connacht Rangers, who were involved in a rearguard action at Le Grand Fay on August the 26th, 1914. For months, these 11 men hid out among the streams in heavily wooded areas around Iran. The townspeople took them in until a local man, Bachelet, betrayed them. They were arrested by the Germans. Hedley Malloch takes up the story.
The site of one of the places associated with this tragedy, and that's on those trees there. That was the site of the Chalandre house. Obviously quite a big, substantial, imposing house. It was there the British soldiers were captured on the 22nd of February 1915. The house was burnt to the ground by the Germans on the same day, and it was never rebuilt.
The men were taken here to this imposing chateau which dominates the town of Guise. They were tortured for 2 days.
Et l'interrogatoire a duré toute une nuit où les gens, les voisins, les entendaient hurler tellement ils étaient battus et torturés.
So this is the building where the soldiers, once they'd been taken captive, were held overnight before they were killed in the morning. And it was in this building that the soldiers were tortured to such an extent that the whole of the town could hear them screaming and crying in agony.
They were then brought through this gate and on February the 25th, 1915, shot in this yard in batches of 6. This was the biggest execution of its kind in the First World War, yet is hardly remembered. I ask Hedley Malloch why this is the case.
So Hedley, it's an extraordinary story, and yet it's hardly known outside the various regimental associations and some people who are on the Great War Forum. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I think the story strikes in some people a responsive chord, like yourself, like myself, like 3 or 4 other people whom I know. And they think, this is tremendous. Why is the story not better known? It has everything. It has drama, it has courage, it has, as I've said elsewhere, if it was scripted and cast in Hollywood, you wouldn't believe it, but it went on. But for others, it's about 11 English soldiers who were trapped behind the lines and were shot, and the families who helped them were shot in Salakirha, and there was a lot of this went on. No big deal. And I don't know why some people respond in one way, but not in another. Perhaps there's an Irish dimension to it, that it's about Irish involvement in the war. And as you know, this is something of a sensitive issue in Ireland even today.
They are all buried in this cemetery, overlooking the chateau of Guise. Vincent Chalandre separately and 11 British soldiers together. They were men from diverse backgrounds, united by a common tragedy.
The group was composed of 6 Irishmen, 1 Liverpool Irishman and 4 Englishmen. The groups came from very mixed backgrounds but shared a common fate. The Irishmen came from rural Kerry, County Roscommon, and the city of Cork. The English came from London and the great industrial cities of the Midlands, the Northwest, and Sheffield, where my great-uncle George was born. These are the ordinary folk we commemorate today, who are still unsung, and their heroism, humanity and determination to survive still hardly known. We thank God for them, their gifts, their togetherness, and ultimately their brave self-sacrifice in the face of their unjust execution.